It's Bigfoot Collectors Club with Bryce, Michael, and Riley. I know a story of high strangeness or two. Let's do this.
Well, hello everyone, and welcome to Bigfoot Collectors Club, the show where we talk to amazing guests about their personal paranormal history and share stories of high strangeness. I'm your host, Michael McMillan. With me always is your other host,
Bryce Johnson.
and our ultra-terrestrial producer,
Riley Bray.
Oh, guess what? Club Scouts, I know we teased it in the opening, but there is no guest this week. We are having too much fun in the clubhouse.
No guests allowed.
Little clubhouse catch up.
Yeah.
How are you boys doing?
Holding on.
Holding on?
I'm just,
Holding the line.
Been scrambling, plugging things in for the last 2 hours. I'm just kind of sweaty now. Like, all right, let's go. I'm ready.
Riley was in that sort of technical pre-panic
You
for
did
last
spend
10.
a solid 35 minutes as a gearhead setting up for this episode.
It's kind of awesome to see.
Everyone buy Riley a coffee this week, okay? I have sort of a personal paranormal update of my own that we need to talk about.
Oh, yeah. You sent a video.
So last week we had Katie Webb on the show, and we made a joke about I hesitate doing this in the clubhouse because we were recording remotely.
She was the guest who had the what was it called? An IGAD? She's seen the UFO, the ghost, and
The e-bug.
the e-bug.
Elemental Bigfoot.
Yeah,
UFO,
she's seen it all.
ghost.
So the paranormal comes with Katie Webb.
So we were joking about, I think it might have even been
Good
off
memory.
mic, that it's my job. It's literally my job, Bryce, to remember these things. But I think we were
Mine's
talking.
to make the mics go.
The thing that I don't remember is whether we were talking about it on mic or off, but we were talking about how, we had to stop because my computer warbled a little bit, and I was like, there's a ghost in the machine. And then as we were breaking, I made the joke about how, a friend of the show, Adela Levine, medium and intuitive, has talked about how we invite these things in when we talk about them. And I made that joke, and then we finished the show, and I went to bed. And the next morning, I'm going to be real frank with everybody. I was on the toilet. I was in my bathroom.
Okay.
I was having a good old morning visit with Mr. Porcelain. And
We're talking number 2 here.
it's a real number 2, guys. So imagine my shock and fear when I hear a rattle, crash. Huge crash. Quickly clean up.
what did you think when you heard it?
It was such a loud sound that I was like, what the fuck
Right.
was that? And I'm like, I don't even have anything in the apartment that would sound like that, except for maybe my kitchen cupboard that has glass cabinet drawers.
It was just like a bang, like a bang, or
it was a rattle,
yeah.
glass shatter.
Oh, dang. Yeah.
So I'm worried about the dogs, first of all, and I can't react immediately because literally I'm caught with my pants down.
Right.
So I clean up, I run out, I search the apartment, I cannot find what caused the sound. I go into my office, and right behind where I sit, where we record the show, and I had just been in this area minutes earlier, I have a frame print that was up on a bookshelf, sitting in about a 2-inch well at the top of the bookshelf. There's a dip.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like one of these little shelves that hold picture frames. They're nice. You lean your frame against the wall.
So
Very sturdy.
Yeah.
You've
Very
good sturdy.
Not tippy.
It's very sturdy.
Physics. It's using physics.
Yeah.
And I've got this thing it's not nailed to the wall, but
Object at rest.
Yes.
it's leaned up against it. Okay. It's about
It's a good lean. 45
15 by 18
degree lean, I think.
frame.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the picture of, Mike?
Well, now you have me on the spot, but because I can't think of the artist name off the top of my head.
Okay, that's okay.
I have 3 prints
Yeah.
up there that are of Star Wars: A New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, and The Return of the Jedi. And it's this artist who does these awesome prints where he will take a locale of a movie or different locales and sets of movies. He sort of draws them like in a graphic style.
Oh, yeah.
And there are different lines that show you all the characters' movements throughout the whole movie.
Oh, that's cool.
That's cool.
And if you Google for me, somebody Google like artist who does character. I feel like it starts with a D. Anyway.
Okay.
I have 3 of these hanging up. And the new
That quick Googs was going to turn into
I know. I was like,
not a quick Googs.
the New Hope frame had fallen off the top shelf and shattered all over my office.
Dang.
Here's the problem. It was not in a precarious position. And yes, that's the guy, Cinemaps.
Andrew DeGraff.
Andrew DeGraff. I told you it started with a D.
Cool.
Quick Googs.
Quick Googs. Thank you very much. Fantastic producer work.
Wow.
This thing was leaned against the wall. There were 2 other ones next to it.
Yeah, they didn't go.
The other ones have X-Wing fighter toys stationed in front of them, so they would be braced, but they're not even leaning forward. There was no rumble. There was no breeze coming through the window that I'm aware of.
And there was no cat.
There was no cat.
That was my first question.
Oh, thank you for reminding me, though.
Yeah.
No cat. The cats are in Fresno. No dogs were up there. And if I go back and listen to the sound, I heard a rattle before this thing fell over.
Yeah, what's that about?
Like a crash.
There's no earthquakes or anything, right?
Right.
At the time, we live in
No.
Southern California.
So even if this thing was flushed up against the wall and tipped over, my bookshelf is deep enough
You got me thinking about that rattle now.
that it would fall.
Yeah, I don't like. Now I see it visually.
This is like
I've seen Ghostbusters enough to
It's
know
pretty
how
scary,
that stuff works.
honestly.
the frame is only maybe just past 2 feet long.
Did it damage the art?
The art is fine. Thank
that's
God.
good.
It was a limited edition print.
Dang.
The glass of the frame shattered everywhere. It
Yeah,
was a big
that's
mess to clean up. But I'm
disturbing.
telling you, if you tipped this thing over and just let it fall flat, it would not fall off the bookshelf.
Yeah, you showed us
Yeah,
that in your video.
not at
Mike
all.
did a demonstration
I did a
of
little
like,
video of
imagine like this, some force of wind gushed this thing, tipped it over, and it still didn't fall off the shelf.
So I don't know how this thing fell off.
But
it felt like poltergeist activity for me.
Yeah, textbook.
And
This is like some Act 1 poltergeist.
Yeah.
activity here.
you're at your most vulnerable.
Yeah.
yes.
This is the start.
Well, and the other thing is I had been standing right by that bookshelf about 5 minutes before now. I didn't bump anything. I know this.
Yeah.
I was just organizing some stuff around that area. So, but it's funny that it fell right where I was standing.
That's ominous too.
You know what I mean?
You're the you're sort of the Star Wars tarot symbologist out of the group. What does it mean that New Hope fell and not
I
the
don't
others?
know.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Have you been thinking about
it?
it?
Could be like, hey, it's the beginning of a new hope or a new trilogy or
Right,
a new
right.
quest. I don't know, or it's destroying that.
We have to give credence to the fact that you were in the bathroom, you didn't see anything. This could have been a total, I don't know how.
It could have just been something. A breeze came through, but why wouldn't the other stuff?
Was the window open?
There was a window cracked.
Okay.
However,
okay.
That's good. That's good.
other
That is
two,
good.
the other 2 prints
It doesn't make sense.
were
but
in the
yeah.
same position, are closer to the window, so you would feel like the force of a draft would knock them over first.
It's almost like better and more spooky that you didn't see it.
No shit, and I
Yeah.
heard it, and
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Yeah.
this was a loud fucking sound.
Right.
Like,
of course.
I even thought it came from outside, like in my neighbor's backyard.
Yeah.
A huge rattle and then a crash. I send the video to Adela Levine. She says, that's a poltergeist. Okay.
How's the vibes?
Well, they're conclusive.
How's the vibe?
Vibes are fine.
Good.
I told them, I did have a moment where I was like, okay,
Oh yeah.
if you're here,
Pants are up, buckled.
you were not invited, and do not break my fucking shit.
right.
That's
oh,
good.
Yeah.
You said that
Oh,
out loud.
Yes.
Good.
I said, I know I was joking around last night, but unless you were specifically invited into my space, you have to leave, and you do not break my shit.
Wow. I love that.
Nice.
And everything's kind of been cool
Yeah.
since. Now, here's the funny thing. I didn't put 2 and 2 together, But I do think this is interesting, and I do think we have to, if we're looking at all of the clues.
Okay.
Riley said it wasn't one of the cats, and I went, well, no, the cats weren't wearing. Thank God they weren't, because I was that could have fallen on one of them.
God. Oh.
But so if you've been a longtime listener of the show, you know that every now and then Michael gets stressy, and Michael wakes up in the middle of the night, and I'm hallucinating. There's something next to my bed. And I'm not kidding. Until Riley said the thing about the cat. The night before, so the night after we recorded, we go to bed, and the night before this happened, I had a mini hallucinogenic night terror, where I woke up, and I'm not kidding, you guys don't know this, next to my bed, I saw what looked to be a white cat hovering in space.
What?
As if someone picked up a cat and held it in front of you, and its like shoulders are slumped up, and its butt is drooped, and the tail,
like someone holding a cat,
like holding a cat up to me.
Oh,
I'm getting chills thinking about this.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Not like a levitating cat, someone invisible holding a cat that's visible.
And when I say I hallucinate these things, so this is what this looks like to me. I wake up suddenly, I'm looking into the dark, and I see what looks like a translucent, almost neon blue, but yet I can tell it's white.
Kind of cool.
Hanging in space, and it's just there long enough for me to react. It's static. It's a static image.
Right.
And I literally went, oh, no, we're not. And I punched the air where it is, you know? And then I wake up and my heart is racing and I'm like, oh, God damn it.
Oh, no,
This is
we're
what
not.
happens when I get stressed.
Uh-huh.
Okay? And I'm talking to my therapist. This is how I started going to a therapist. But when you said cat, I went, well, you know?
Funny you should mention
I
it.
woke up in the middle of the night and saw a levitating cat in my bedroom.
weird.
So what if it was a cat, but the cat is a poltergeist?
I think you have a ghost cat, which cool. Objectively,
and it's not a cat
awesome.
that I bring. It was a
Very Miyazaki.
long-haired, shaggy.
Yeah, but
white
who's holding
cat.
that cat? We
I
still
don't
haven't-
know.
Yeah, that's the problem.
It's kind of like there was a shadow person behind
because
it.
if a cat knocks over a frame, it just knocks over a frame. The rattling. Well, maybe that's the energy of the frame.
Yeah, it could have been like.
Okay,
bat,
I
bat,
like
bat,
this
bat,
theory.
bat, bat. I don't
but
know.
I'm disturbed by the thing holding the cat.
Yeah.
So am I.
I mean,
Yeah.
the whole thing is generally
Yeah, right.
disturbing.
So-
Right.
Yeah.
Maybe this thing just fucking fell off the shelf. I'm
Yeah,
open to that.
yeah.
But I don't know why. I don't know how. And I don't know what would cause the clickety clack, 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 clack before the shatter.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't know.
That's my personal paranormal update.
Well,
for
I
y'all.
mean, it's
Okay.
a pretty substantial one.
Adela said she did a little look into it, and it's a guy, 6-year-old man type, who I might be reading one of his books or something, but I don't know if this rings a bell. It didn't ring a bell for me, but we have so many books
Lying
on our
about,
shelves and so
yeah.
many.
We're all such voracious readers.
Well, I mean, we have so many like.
No, I know, we
There's
do.
a lot of
I
like
just-
6-year-old white guy books.
I just
that
gave
we
you
have.
that. Didn't I just give you that book from the 90s?
You did, but I haven't read it yet.
But maybe he came with the book.
Maybe he came with the book.
Jeez.
That's true.
Because that's like a paranormal book from
Oh,
the
that's
90s.
an interesting.
I did. You
That's
know, Riley
interesting.
did just gift me a book.
You have
It
to
came
read that
from,
book
like, a
now.
used
Maybe there's a clue.
bookstore.
That's your next clue.
Well, I'm
Isn't
going
this stuff
to.
fun?
Are we assuming it's his cat?
The cat. Adela didn't see a
I'm
cat.
really stuck
I
on the
could
cat.
speak to that
personally.
cat. You son of a-
That's what we need.
Oh, God.
Bryce is
You
to ghost
little
whisper
honey.
the cat.
Maybe that's what happened.
You
You
little son of a
summoned that.
gun.
You summoned
You're
the ghost
summoning
cat.
ghost cats into my
You
house.
little baby.
And then this dead author was like, "Hey, that's my cat."
Maybe my dad is picking up tabby cats, picking up ghost cats. Oh, that's crazy.
I don't know. So there you
Wow.
go.
Weird.
Wow,
I got a story.
that's a good one.
That's a good
Close,
one, Mike.
right?
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the most.
You need-
It's the best thing I got since we started the show.
Well,
Yeah.
I like this because if nothing happens again, it just sort of goes away, right? Now, if something else happens, then it's like it's compounded.
yeah. So I'll keep everybody posted.
Please do.
And we'll see. But knock on wood, no other weird shit going on yet.
Cool.
All right.
Okay.
Cool. All right. Well, we'll take a break. When we come back, we're going to get into some BCC news. Well, we talked on the break, and I think what I might do is I might put my...
You're going to stop pooping.
I'm going to stop pooping, first of all.
That seems like the answer, really. Yeah.
Pooping is one of the greatest pleasures of life. Why would
Truly
I ever
is.
stop pooping?
Eating and pooping.
Don't run with that statement, everybody. I draw a line. It all happens where it needs to happen. I will say that. I might put the video that I sent you guys up on the YouTube.
I was
should.
going to
I
ask you
liked your
about that.
video.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With a little commentary, you could
Yeah, a
explain
little
the whole
commentary. I
thing.
might cut something together, and then you guys can watch it over at youtube.com/@BigfootCollectorsClub and let us know what you think over there. Okay?
Yeah, great.
You like that?
I do.
Great. Let's get into some... BCC News! This is from the Washington Times. Astrophysicists say that discovery of alien life could be just a couple of years away.
That's cool.
Astrophysics professor Lisa Kaltenegger is leading the charge in one of humanity's most captivating endeavors to search for life beyond Earth. Mrs. Kaltenegger...
Way to go, Lisa. It's Lisa's that's leading the charge.
Lisa,
That's
lead the way. Lisa or Lisa. 47 years old and acclaimed pioneer in her field, currently spearheads the Carl Sagan Institute at Cornell University in New York. All right,
Okay.
we're not fucking around here, okay?
Sounds legit.
The institute, which is renowned for its interdisciplinary approach, unites scientists from various backgrounds to explore the possibility of life among the stars.
Yes.
The professor is excited about 4 planets found orbiting the red dwarf star TRAPPIST-1.
TRAPPIST-1?
Let's stop right there.
Where's that?
TRAPPIST-1 is a fucking rad
That
name
is so awesome.
for a red dwarf.
TRAPPIST? Are you TARPIST?
Yeah.
That's dope.
TRAPPIST-1 is 2 Ps.
TRAPPIST-1. Dude, that is strong.
It is
That's
only
cool.
40
Yo,
light
I got
years.
life on my planets. TRAPPIST-1 up in this bitch.
It's only 40 light years
I got
from
9
Earth.
planets and shit.
Yeah, TRAPPIST-1. It's 40 light years away from Earth.
That's not fair.
Not fair. It's not fair. The James Webb Space Telescope is observing these planets for now, she told The Telegraph. We have a chance to find the gases on these worlds and to figure out if there's biosignatures on them within the next, let's say, 5 to 10 years.
Biosignatures of gas exhaust. Interesting.
If life is everywhere, it can be found in that system. It may be that we need to observe 100 systems before we find life, or 1,000. But it could also be that we just need to observe one system, she said. Then an announcement that we are not alone in the universe could be just a couple of years from now. Mrs. Kaltenegger's contributions to popular science, particularly through her book Alien Earths, Planet Hunting in the Cosmos.
What a clickbait title. Come on, you don't got any aliens in your book.
Alien just means foreign.
I know.
Other planets that
But she's
could-
looking for aliens.
She knows what she's doing.
She knows
Alien
what she's
Earths.
doing.
Other Earths, other
Alien
planets
Earths.
that could support
Okay,
life.
all right, I get it. All right.
Remember, there was at one point before
Alien
there were people, there were just
Alien
microbes on
Earths.
this planet.
All right.
She's got an upcoming feature on Radio 4's Book of the Week, make complex astronomical concepts accessible and engaging to the general public. However, she's quick to distance her scientific inquiry from the more speculative claims, Bryce, this is where you come in, of UFO sightings and alien visitors. She emphasizes the need for robust data to support any claims of ET life, cautioning against the allure of inconclusive evidence.
Yeah, great. I like that.
Start
yeah.
small, like you said.
Yeah.
Right as we were recording.
Yeah.
Climb Mount
yeah.
Everest, one step at a time.
We're going to find algae before we find aliens.
Yeah,
Sure.
we are.
That's all it takes is, we're waiting for the confirmation. You know, I always thought it would come in my lifetime, you know, like finding microbial life on Mars or you know, some type of life on maybe one of the moons of Jupiter or something.
I just love that we can see these planets now.
It's incredible.
That are
Yeah.
so
It's
far away and
incredible.
outside of our solar system.
No, so hats off to Lisa. I love that.
Good job,
I think
Lisa.
that's great.
Yeah.
You get the BCC tip of the cap of the week.
Tip of the cap of the week.
Tip of the cap. We're tipping that cap to you.
Meanwhile, over on NPR, I threw this one in here because I felt it had echoes of the dinosaur stuff that we were talking about during the Jersey
I need
Devil
to throw
story.
somebody in our fuck you bucket, right? Can I?
Not
No,
Lisa.
not Lisa.
Lisa's
No,
cool.
not Lisa. Somebody
We
at the
like
NPR.
No.
Oh.
I mean, at least
No, I like Lisa. We went over
at
that.
least hear the
Now
story
NPR
first.
on the other.
Paleontologists discover a 240 million year old dragon fossil in full.
How are you going to throw that
I
in the
can't
fuck
throw
you
it. Yeah,
bucket,
no,
Bryce?
you're right.
Come
You're
on.
right. You're damn.
That's
They
right.
found a dinosaur.
That's pretty
that's
metal.
basically a fucking dragon.
Okay, all right, that's cool.
The 240 million year old fossil's neck has 32 separate vertebrae, longer than its body, and a tail combined. This is out of the National Museums of Scotland. It's a fitting discovery in the year of the dragon. A team of scientists has uncovered a complete fossil of an aquatic reptile that resembles a Chinese dragon because of its snake-like appearance and elongated neck.
Cool.
The fossil of the Dinocephalosaurus orientalis dates back to 240 million years to the
Orientalis.
Triassic period and was found in the Guizhou province of southern China. While the reptile was first identified in 2003, this latest discovery is more complete, about 16 feet long, and allowed the scientists to depict the strange prehistoric creature in full for the first time. We got a complete
That's cool.
fucking dragon
Awesome.
fossil.
Dragon bone. Now kids are going to be going to the museum again.
It is
Be
yet
psyched.
one more example of the weird and wonderful world of
That
the
T-Rex
Triassic.
is getting old. We've all seen
We
it.
need dragons.
We've
I
all
mean,
seen the T-Rex.
they've seen Game of
Jurassic
Thrones. They need
Park
more.
had to
Right.
make up new dinosaurs. It's just another example of the weird and wonderful world of the Triassic that continues to baffle paleontologists, said Nick Fraser, head of the National Museum of Scotland's Department of Natural Sciences. In a new release Friday, we are certain that it will capture imaginations across the globe due to
Awesome.
its striking appearance. Now, if you look, I'm going to put this on the Instagram. If you scroll down, you're going to see the fossil of this thing.
Okay.
So
Fucking
cool.
rad. Its striking appearance reminiscent of the long and snake-like mythical Chinese dragon.
Yeah.
Professor Li Chun from the Institute
It's got a
of
heart in the middle of it too. I love that.
Vertebrate Paleontology and Paleanthropology.
What an institute.
Thropology.
Thropology.
Said that the find had
Oh,
been
my
an
thropologies.
international effort. The researchers behind the discovery are from Scotland, Germany, America, and China. Pretty rad.
Cool.
This
Cool
is
news
stuff.
this week. Cool
Yeah.
news.
Yeah,
all
I'm
around.
going to throw myself in the fuck you bucket then.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, this week, scientists win.
Just take a little sit in there.
yeah, I'm just going to sit in there.
just
I
dip-
need some humbling.
Dip your
I feel
cheeks
like
in,
Ron
wet
Ross
the
with
cheeks,
Yeah.
and then come right back
It's
out.
nice in here.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go, guys. I love it. I included this because it's just fun to be like, well, there's some fucking dragon. Yeah, I know it's not a dragon.
No, it's
It's
cool.
like it's a dragon.
It's cool.
No, it's cool. There's an untold story here. There's this new, obviously.
well, they
God.
knew it existed,
Right.
but they just didn't have the complete skeleton yet, and that's fucking rad.
Now, is there any way that they can, like, all the dragons, they could fly. Is there any sort of, like, wing structure on this thing or anything like that?
Let's see. It was flippered. The team studied
Okay,
the bizarre
right.
reptile and Institute of
Swimming
Vertebrate
dragons.
Paleontology.
Right.
In Beijing, its flippered limbs and exquisitely preserved fish in its stomach indicate that the reptile was adapted to the
Yum, yum.
ocean.
So it was aquatic.
It was aquatic,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's cool. Got
But,
it.
raptors,
Right.
and, a lot of dinosaurs had wings and feathers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
They were more bird-like than we thought when
Yep,
we were little
right,
kids.
of course. Love that.
So,
Do you guys
cool
think
stuff.
humans will ever discover a planet that currently has dinosaurs?
I would love that. Planet Dino.
I know.
Wouldn't that be rad?
Yep.
It'd be so cool. If we just learned that, like, yeah, if the conditions are right, then, like, life just kind of, like, sprouts up the same way everywhere.
Makes dinosaurs.
Yeah, it just makes dinosaurs first.
Yeah.
But that's what a lot of people, if you're going to
Getting
get it.
eaten alive would suck. Like, chased down and eaten alive
Yeah.
would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd do it. That'd be cool.
It'd be fun to get. If I got to get eaten by
For
something.
the story.
I either wanted to be,
Dino.
I either wanted to be a T-Rex or I wanted to be like some sort of like cool big cat and she's going to feed her babies. You know what I mean?
Yeah, okay.
I hope I become like the fast food family meal. Not so fast,
Yeah.
if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I do.
Caught me pretty quick.
What would you like to be eaten by, Bryce?
You know, I have this discussion with my family all the time. As they're plant based, and I'm an omnivore, and my argument is sort of comes with Joseph Campbell's argument that everything, and I do mean everything, all life survives on death.
Life feeds on life.
Life feeds on life. And so it can't be avoided, right? Like, even if you're a vegan or a vegetarian, those crops that get mowed and tilled to create the soy farms, stuff is going to die, right? And so it's like, where do you draw the line? And so for me, I just had to come up philosophically like, oh, I am food as well. I am food for something, for whatever my body.
We're food for worms.
I'm
eventually.
food for worms. And so
fungus.
everything is food, and so that's how I sort of.
Also, we have like millions of microbial species walking all over us.
Yeah, but I'd like to be eaten by the Austin bats. That'd be cool.
They really didn't show up for us.
I
last summer
would like them to like fly together, take me off of that bridge, and then like fly me into the sky.
And we just watch you get like
holy shit, that's never happened.
We just see you get spun around, and then like red
bones.
mist,
Yeah.
red mist, and then just like
bones into the river.
jeans in a plaid shirt just come floating down to the boats below.
That's how I would like it to happen.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how do you want to be eaten alive, everyone? Let us know when we come back right after this break. And we're back, and it's time for this week's story of high strangeness, coming to you from yours truly, Michael Charles McMillan. I thought we would do something fun this week and return to some Bigfoot basics.
Oh, okay.
You know, with BCC having recently been finding a new audience on YouTube, I realized that we might have some new listeners who are coming over to the podcast.
Great. Let's get back to what we do.
Joining us.
Yeah.
And perhaps there are those who are listening and who are dipping into the waters of high strangeness for the first time. You know, every
those
episode...
sweet Elysian waters of high strangeness.
every episode is someone's first episode is how I think
That's
about it.
gross.
No, it's not.
No, I'm just kidding. I just
gross?
sexualize it in my mind. That's all.
No, I'm just saying.
I'm gonna fuck this episode.
Every episode
That
of
was my
BCC's first episode.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm just.
We knew what you meant.
Goddamn mind out of the
I'm trying.
So, if this is your first episode, welcome. Long time.
We're sorry.
Welcome. Sorry. Goodbye. You hung around this long. Long-time listeners are very familiar with our flagrant references to Bigfoot and portals.
Yeah.
It's the bedrock of our sensibility. And one of our earliest logos even featured Bigfoot emerging from an interdimensional doorway. Thank you, little friends of printmaking. The theory that Bigfoot is able to cloak, turn invisible, or exit this earthly realm has swerved its way in and out of the history of this program.
Oh, dude, don't tell me you're about to do some cloaking and vanishing Bigfoot shit.
This is the thing, Bryce. We've talked about it, but we've rarely stopped to focus on this aspect of Bigfootery or heard some of the stories that support the theory.
Ooh, I'm pumped.
This week on BCC, we're gonna fucking talk about it.
Yes.
It's time to talk.
Let's talk about it.
About vanishing Bigfoot.
Let's bring it out of the closet and talk about these Bigfoots that just go vanishing.
If you're open to the idea of Bigfoot's existence, then you likely fall into one of two camps: the flesh and blood camp or the paranormal camp. The flesh and blood camp is composed of investigators and dreamers.
It's got a cool name.
Who think that Bigfoot must be some kind of undiscovered biological primate formed of this material reality within which we all exist, living somewhere out in the woods, who has successfully eluded scientific discovery for its entire existence. Any mention of Bigfoot and UFOs, strange lights, or dematerialization are quickly dismissed by this camp. They don't want to hear about it.
And it's a very valid camp because...
I'm not saying they're wrong.
No, of course not. But let me just tell you, like, all it takes is flying one time over that Pacific Northwest to realize, my God, something could hide here forever.
Could not agree with you more.
It's a lot of trees.
The paranormal camp is open to the flesh and blood theories, but they also cannot discount the stranger aspects of Bigfootery as described by the eyewitnesses. I would assume that most of our listeners probably fall into this camp, right? You're open to the flesh and blood, but you're also open to, could there be something weirder happening?
Yeah, of course. It's because now, a lot of the great, sort of Bigfoot accounts that are recorded come to us from the Bigfoot. I hope I'm not jumping ahead.
I invite this discourse.
Okay, great. From the Bigfoot Field Research Organization, the BFRO.
Yes, we're going to talk about this.
Right, but they disclude sort of any accounts or testimony that has elements of high strangeness in it. So they're very much a flesh and blood sort of organization.
Yes. Well, one of the sources for this high strangeness segment is Tom Powell, who wrote The Locals.
Great book.
Tom Powell is part of the BFRO. However, Tom Powell's great because Tom Powell kind of keeps an open mind when it comes to this
He's
stuff.
like a whistleblower within that, yes.
So, one helpful aspect surrounding the theory that Bigfoot has the ability to vanish into thin air is that it can explain why none of the creatures have ever been caught. We literally cannot see them unless they want to be seen, right? That's very helpful when deciding why haven't we found one of these things.
What an advantage.
So, case in point. In October of 2000, former Navy SEAL and Gulf War veteran Alex Summers, not to be confused with the X-Men character Havoc, was hunting with his cousin in Oregon's Coast Range Mountains. On the second day of their trip, they came across a being which Alex described to Bigfoot author and investigator Tom Powell of the BFRO as a possible Neanderthal. Tom included Alex's tale in his book, The Locals. Bryce, do us the honor and read us this account from Alex Summers, please.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was about 20 feet from us. It stopped and turned around. My cousin felt a sense from it that we didn't belong here. Now, the creature was about 8 feet tall. I'm 6'4", and my cousin is 6 foot. And that creature was taller than both of us, and it was thicker in the body as well. Massive, probably be a better description. It had black hair, not fur, hair, and a strange head. It reminded me of the sagittal crest on a great ape. It was somewhat dome-shaped. The creature's eyes were black with no white showing, and it had a strong, musky odor coming from it, like garbage or decaying animal.
So the two of them, Riley, had been walking down a muddy road, and they passed by a clear cut in the woods. So a big opening where loggers or somebody cut down a bunch of the trees, and that's where they see this creature. And the creature just stares back at them, studied the two men, and despite them being armed with rifles, Alex claimed that the 8-foot ape-like creature looked too human to fire upon.
How many times do we hear that? That's crazy.
Yep.
It surveyed us for about a minute, and then it turned around and started walking towards the other side of the clear cut. You wish to believe the next part is a joke, that's fine. My cousin and I were not drinking, we're not under the influence of any drugs, and we're not liars or given to wild delusions. We never sought media attention or fame, but as sure as I live, that creature disappeared right in front of me. Have you ever seen in a desert setting, off in the distance, when the heat rises off the ground, the blurry wavy lines? That's what the creature did. It started shimmering and became almost transparent and then completely disappeared.
To make matters even more wondrous, when Alex and his cousin approached the site where the monster had vanished, they found tracks in the muddy ground. Tracks that disappeared right where the creature had seemingly exited our reality. Yet,
Cool.
Alex and his cousin couldn't help but feel like they were being watched. So the two men retreated, feeling unwelcome and like they were being watched the entire time that they left the area. So, did this Bigfoot cross over to another reality as the sudden end in the tracks would suggest, or did it still somehow linger in the vicinity but invisible? Author Jack Lapertides, was that right? Lapertides? Sorry, I got scared.
Lapseritis, right?
Lapsertitis, I think. It's a tough name. Lapsertides.
Lapseritis, I think.
Lapseritis.
Is his name.
Who wrote The Psychic Bigfoot, recounts a Bigfoot encounter story that happened to a woman he identifies as Mrs. Jeffries. Mrs. Jeffries reported that she and a group of friends were hiking when a 9 to 10 foot tall Sasquatch stepped out into their pathway and then, in the twinkling of an eye, vanished before them. Stories like Summers and Mrs. Jeffries are rarely taken seriously by the flesh and blood camp and are often discounted completely, as Bryce said earlier. Yet, this curious ability...
Which is so just like fucked up. Like, to be like a Bigfoot is be like, nah, I don't want to hear that bullshit.
None of that.
I get it though. I get it.
I think the problem is if you're trying to get people to take you seriously about this subject in the first place.
Well, that was their angle, is like they were always wanted to be very scientific in their approach, but what they didn't understand early on set about the phenomena, that it wasn't going to behave scientifically as just flesh and blood. So you're going to leave out a whole corpus of data that is absolutely integral to getting to the bottom of the puzzle.
Yeah, I agree. There's weird shit. So if Bigfoot can really turn invisible, it may help to explain incidents like the one that happened to a North Dakota rancher named Lyle Maxon back in 1977.
Now we got to unpack this a little bit, because
we're going to get there.
There's turning invisible.
We're going to get there.
Okay, great.
We're going to get there.
Great.
On November 3rd, 1977, a Sasquatch type being had been reported by multiple witnesses on a reservation.
Oh, man.
According to Jerome Clark in his book, Unexplained. That particular evening, Maxon, this rancher, had reported that he was walking alone in the dark when he suddenly heard a large animal crashing through the woods behind him and stopping. Maxon could clearly hear the panting of breath, as if the animal had been running for a long period of time. But when he turned around and aimed his flashlight towards the source of the sound, there was nothing there. On a few occasions, eyewitnesses will report a Bigfoot that vanishes after ducking behind a tree.
Mm-hmm.
Billy Reed was a young man from Clackamas County back in 1980s. This is up in Oregon. He and some of his buddies were heading to a party in the woods one summer in Bigby Hot Springs. Just after parking and just before heading up the trail to the springs, Billy looked over to see a large hairy hominid cross the edge of the parking lot and duck behind a small tree. Billy, perhaps emboldened by a Coors Light or two, chased after the creature, but when he looked behind the tree where the Sasquatch had dipped, there was nothing there. Another story like this comes from a horseback rider named Vicky Osland, who had a curious encounter with a white Bigfoot in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan back in 2001. She reported her encounter to Tom Powell. And she said, "Even though this was years ago, I remember it like it was yesterday because it was so bizarre. When Silver," that's her horse, "put his head up to see the creature coming towards us, I felt the creature thought Silver was one of them. And as he came towards us, not noticing me on his back, I am assuming, kind of led me to believe that there was more of them in the area, and white too. The pine forest he was in were tall and thin jack pine, but quite thickly forested. When he came in real close to where I was, he must have noticed that we weren't familiar to him, and he turned, running sideways towards some trees. All of a sudden, he just disappeared. He didn't come out on the other side of the tree. He just vanished. I was thinking, he could have run back straight, but the trees weren't that large. Like his whole body would hide behind it. And it was strange. I didn't see him running away from me at all. Just sideways, then behind the tree, and gone. I guess that is what gave me the creeps more than anything else I observed. Like I said before, it was going on dusk, and even though there was sufficient daylight for me to follow in a ways, I was too scared to do it. It was totally silent too. I didn't hear him breathe. Break twigs, nothing. Just quiet woods. Knowing Silver stopped dead in his tracks to watch this thing gave me comfort, as to know that even though there wasn't another human observing this thing, that Silver reacted to it, so I knew he saw it too.
Yeah.
I have seen albino deer, and honestly, that is what I thought this was, as I knew it was already on Silver. I was already on Silver, but when there was no large body jutting out behind it, I knew it was something altogether different. I tell everybody I saw an albino Sasquatch, as I can't explain it to
any other way. I truly believe I saw something very unique and have since looked into the site and read the Upper Peninsula sighting stories. Nothing else seems to be like my sighting, though. There was one in Marquette County quite a few years back. Maybe only footprints and strange sounds, not sure, and I guess it doesn't matter. My family teases me, but I know what I saw, and no one can convince me otherwise.
Damn, I love every word of her report.
Yeah.
It just sounds so lucid and so like real, like she just came from a sighting and just tape recorded her encounter.
And I like her instinct that like her horse was white that she was on, silver, and this thing came towards them originally as if to be like, oh hey, there's one of my people, and then stopped and went, oh no, that's a horse, oh, and there's a person on top of it, and then they split.
I like how
and that made her think, well, if he thought that I was one of them, that must mean there are more of them in the area.
Well, and I like how she describes, like, once it goes around the tree, she was like, well, I didn't see it like run straight back because I could have seen that. I didn't hear anything.
Bizarre.
It's like a very detailed account of something just vanishing.
That's what's so bizarre about these tree peekers and these tree vanishers.
It's like they time slip or something.
It's like they dip behind that line of that tree, and it's like a curtain off stage. And I don't know how they fucking do this, and it doesn't make any sense. So here we have instances where the eyewitnesses see the Bigfoot vanish, one, or two, where the creature is already invisible when they come upon it.
Now,
or three, we have a couple stories where the creature dips behind a tree and seemingly just disappears. So there's a few theories, Bryce. This is what I think you're coming to.
Yeah.
Of what could be going on.
Well, I just imagine, like, if it was like behind that tree, and let's say it just sort of cloaked using some sort of natural processes that a lot of incredible nature animals have, and then sort of snuck away, covered its tracks. I could see something like that taking place
also,
if it was.
What if they're shooting up the tree?
What if they went up the tree?
If they
That's right.
The tree?
There's plenty
These
of ways
things have to climb these fucking
disappear.
trees.
That's right. That's right. So we can't just discount like portal slipping, time. You know, it's like, or I mean, we can't discount like other ways of escaping someone's purview than just like vanishing into a portal. Like these things could be like masters of their environment. You know,
they
what
also
I mean?
might drop to the ground and belly crawl.
Yeah,
away. There's stories of that too.
Fascinating.
Right, yeah.
Absolutely, it's fascinating.
All right, so there are a few theories as to what might be going on here.
Right.
Okay. May not get to them all. I'm sure you'll come up with a couple other, Bryce. And these are in no.
You got my mind just churning on
These
this
are
one. I
in-
love it.
Theories.
no particular order.
Okay.
But I'm gonna try to go from most reasonable to most out there.
Great.
Okay.
Seems
The
fair.
first is the camo theory.
I like
That
this
Bigfoot
one.
is somehow able to camouflage itself and blend in with its surroundings so well that it just appears to vanish. This may not take a sci-fi explanation, okay? The Arctic hare, for example, spends the summer months brown with brown fur. But when winter comes along, its hide turns a bright white to help hide it and blend in with the snow, rendering it nearly invisible.
Dude, nature does the craziest
Owls.
shit.
Have you guys ever seen an owl hanging out in the hollow of a tree?
Every night.
Owls have the ability to blend in with the bark of a tree, so that's kind of makes me worried. But with the bark of a tree so seamlessly that they are nearly invisible to the naked eye.
Yeah.
And that's not even counting the number of fish, reptiles, and amphibians and birds that have uncanny abilities to blend in with their
Dude, how about
surroundings.
insects? Those
Yes,
mantises,
exactly.
those praying mantises.
There are bugs that literally look like leaves.
Fucking insane.
There are
what
bugs
they
that
can
look
do.
like other animals.
Yes.
Okay?
And octopus, of course.
An
Yes.
octopus. Thank you.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't
Precedent has been set in nature.
Why
Sure, many
wouldn't
times over.
exactly?
Hondo P.
Why wouldn't a creature that evolved
Yep.
to survive undetected in the woods for
Right.
millennia now have the ability to completely blend in with their surroundings?
I like it.
Why
I do
not?
Too. I do
right?
too.
Just bottom line, they can blend in,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
To us, ooh. To them, meow.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Then we have the cloaking theory that that there's something we don't understand about the biology or the physiology of a Bigfoot that allows it to cloak or become invisible while still existing in the physical world, which to me is so closely related to the camo theory that they might as well be one and the same. However, there might be some more sci-fi aspects to that.
That's what I get. When I hear cloaking, I think of Predator with his arm thing
Predator.
going bloop, 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 and then going. So I'm thinking like tech.
Yeah.
But I could see like, so you're right. If it's like flesh-based nature processes, we should call that camoing.
Even if it's a thing where like the hairs stand on ends and the tips of the hair have a mirroring effect or like a fiber optical illusion effect.
But I would call that
still
camouflaging.
Yeah, me too. That's what I'm saying. So cloaking, I guess there's a fine line between.
To me seems technical.
Okay,
I like that. That's a good distinction.
Yeah. So
like alien in nature, like advanced tech.
Right. The Bigfoot might be wearing some sort of wristwatch.
Although, have you guys seen
some
the
sort
new
of beeping sound.
Have you seen the new cloaking tech that's come from overseas? It's just like the shield, the cloaking shields. You just set this shield in front of you, and it can basically turn you invisible.
Yeah, because it's like filming stuff that's behind you.
Yeah,
right?
it's the wave patterns in the layering of the materials
light.
that bends the light from what's behind you and around you.
So there could be something about the animal's hide.
Yeah, there could.
Or the species that bends light. You know what I mean? That to me is still camo.
Agreed. I think we're all agreeing.
No, we're all
there.
agreeing
That's
here,
good.
but the cloaking thing could be...
It's fascinating,
Cloaking might be, now I'm an alien and I literally have like a UFO telling me, beep, boop, bop.
Yeah.
You're invisible. I don't know.
Cloaking involves beeping. I
Yes.
think we've
Beeping,
established.
yes.
Tapping, beeping,
Yeah.
clicking.
Clicking.
Then there's the idea, the Bigfoot's possible ability to use infrasound, sound below a frequency of 20 hertz, to disorient prey or potential predators like a human, may not only cause vertigo, imbalance, intolerable sensations, incapacitation, disorientation, nausea, vomiting, bowel spasms, and resonances in the inner organs such as the heart, which we've heard.
Damn.
Makes you scared, makes you want to shit your pants, makes you confused, makes you immobile, makes you sick.
Yeah.
But it might also cause some type of temporal displacement in the victim.
I don't have a problem with that.
In other words, Bigfoot might have the ability to fuck with people's
altered state,
perception
that's right.
of local space-time so badly that the viewer only thinks the creature is vanishing into thin air.
Through sound?
Through infrasound.
Cool.
You know what I mean? It's fucking with you.
Right.
Bigfoot drops that bass so hard.
Yes.
That you just go blind.
I mean,
You lose it.
You're like, he was there 1 minute? Because like the Rocky Bounds
I don't
Bigfoot
need to tell
encounter.
you that DARPA has developed sound weapons that are just like
sure. There's a whole-
unbelievable. So the idea that you could do like this infra shot to a victim and paralyze their temporal existence for a few seconds, I love it.
There are drugs that can do this shit to you.
Right.
You know what I mean? In some ways. Like, whoa, where am I?
Right.
So maybe there's some sort of, it gives you some sort of like,
What if the Bigfoot's like not really good at it yet? He's like,
yeah. I can see you.
Is that Bigfoot beatboxing?
I can see you.
What is he?
I can see
I think he's trying to drop a beat.
I still see you. I don't feel. I got a little tingle in my butthole, but that was about it. I see you. Then there's the theory that maybe Bigfoot can literally hack space-time.
Yeah.
Now we're getting into some weird stuff. As crazy as that seems.
are we though? Dematerialization.
This
There you
theory might explain not dematerialization,
Okay.
literally manipulating time and space
I love this.
to appear as if they vanished and reappeared in different places.
That's
right?
dope. Yeah.
This theory might explain why the tracks in Alex Summers' story suddenly stopped when they witnessed the monster disappear.
Can you imagine
right?
just being able to go back and time jump to a different universe and be like, remember how you always like, God, if I could only go back. What if they can?
Well, like, imagine Bryce.
And just jump back into a different universe and then like slip out the back door.
Awesome.
Imagine Bryce. Imagine if
Oh,
you
I'm
had
imagining.
if you had the ability to stop time.
I do that.
Right?
That would be my superpower. I
So-
would so abuse it and misuse it.
So
but
let's say
that's my superpower.
let's say just in a simple thing without all the fantasy of what you would do.
Keep
We're
that to
sitting here
yourself.
recording. We're recording this. You have the ability to stop time.
Yeah.
You pause.
Right, pause.
Bryce, Riley, Riley and I and Nova. We're all paused.
Yep.
You get up, you walk out of the room, you get in your car and you drive down the road. And then you hit unpause. To us, from our perception, there's no time missing. We don't know that we've been paused.
Who would choose flying over that?
Hold on. You just vanished before our eyes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Right?
I
Now
want that
imagine that instead of walking out the door, getting in your car, driving away, you pause and you get up out of your chair and you just walk over to the corner of the kitchen and hit unpause. Suddenly it looks like you were here one moment and then you were over there in the next instant, right? So that's what temporal manipulation can do to the people who are witnessing it.
Yeah, I think it happens in alien encounters and stuff like that. Some type of time displacement.
Yeah.
Some type of... There's a total control over the environment, it seems to be.
Or over perception
of the environment. Yeah, good point.
But this is the problem that we run into with all of these things, is the tracks. Why do the tracks disappear? Because even if you pause time and walk out the door and say you were walking in dirt or mud, we would see your footsteps leading out the door and down.
Not necessarily true. I mean, like, I could step off of a trackway if I'm like leaving prints, and I've thought about this whenever I'm in the field, like if I'm leaving prints and I'm in a soft place, I'm like, can I step off of a place and not leave prints? There's places like that for sure, but I know what you're saying.
But you know what I mean?
It's problematic, especially the stories of like out in the middle of a
That's what
field,
we're talking about.
Snow.
That's
and
what
then
we're
the
talking
snow,
about. They stopped.
Yeah,
That's what happened to Alex Summers in that
super
clear cut.
problematic.
It turned vanish and the trackway stops.
Because now you're talking about where did the weight go?
Yes.
Because
it implies that when the creature vanished, it actually went someplace else, right?
Right.
So this is where portals come in.
Fucking
Guess
portal.
what?
Finally.
Guess what? You guys are going to be so excited to know. Bigfoot portals, or doorways a Sasquatch might use to pop in and out of a neighboring dimension, have a scientific name.
What?
The Lorentzian traversable wormhole.
No way.
This is a theory that has been put forth by physicists
named
like
Lorenzo.
Dr. Michio Kaku.
Oh, Michio
They've
Kaku.
given theoretical wormholes. They're theoretical. They've not proven that they exist.
That dude.
They've come up with this idea that there are theoretical wormholes that might connect our universe with neighboring alternate universes.
I think it has to. I think the universe is sporous like a cheese, and there's passageways and tunnels and connectivity points all throughout it.
Talks about how if that our universe basically
layered on top
is there. Basically, think of like our universe is floating around in like sort of a liquid form with other universes,
totally
in a flat, very ginormous, very big two-dimensional like rectangular plane.
I know.
And then you zoom out from that, and there's a stack of those.
Yeah, right.
And that there might be wormholes connecting the different layers of the stack, right? So a Lorentzian traversable wormhole is a topological opening in space-time which manifests traversable inter-universe and or inter-universe connections, as well as possible different chronological connections between distant space-time points. So, meaning you could jump from 1955 in their universe to 2024 in our universe.
It's problematic because how do you control that? It's like
this is where
it seems to be like this uncontrollable machine. How do you know when to go? Yeah, man.
Okay, but this could help support John Keel's window area theory that certain points on a map, for example, Skinwalker Ranch or Point Pleasant, West Virginia, have a high uptick of high strangeness because, that was redundant, I know, because of the presence of these wormholes that they're just naturally forming in these areas on certain points.
Right.
And creatures like Bigfoot use these traversable wormholes to jump in and out of our dimension the same way we would dip in and out of subways.
Right, totally.
They
These
know
are
where
like
they
the
are.
destination points.
They might be able to see them. They might be able to detect them. They might be able to know where to get in and out of them. I guess you could also, if we're going this far, they might have the ability to open them themselves in some sort of like biological way or techie way.
Damn.
This is getting like pretty like Hogwarts level.
Yes, it is. No, it's wild.
Yeah.
But
so wild.
This is but there's scientists that say this.
Yeah. Dude, it was scientists that took that picture at Skinwalker Ranch of that creature coming out of a portal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, Nick Redfern
Crazy.
Yeah.
author of the Bigfoot Encyclopedia,
But you're right, it is very Hogwarts.
has
The Bigfoot knows where the portal begins.
Nick
Only the
Redford
Bigfoot will know.
has his own theory as to how Bigfoot might be both here and gone within moments.
I think looking at a great many legends, folk tales, and things of that nature, it's possible to vibrate at different rates. And if you vibrate at a different rate, you're not seen. You're not tangible. And then, when you vibrate and it changes, you are seen. You are tangible. Maybe this has something to do with Bigfoot appearing and disappearing in strange fashion.
That's from, the Bigfoot book, the Encyclopedia of Sasquatch, Yeti, and Cryptid Primates. Very good book. So,
Pretty good New Zealand, too.
yeah, not bad.
Thank you.
So, we don't know. Is Nick
We don't
Redford
know.
from New
I
Zealand?
think
is,
so.
right?
I think I've
Isn't
seen
he?
him interviewed before.
I think he's from New Zealand.
I went with it.
I like it.
Is the author of blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say. So,
He is now.
So in Nick Redford's version, Bigfoot is like the Vision from Avengers or Shadowcat from the X-Men.
Yeah.
Maybe this would explain how Sasquatches are able to penetrate high security underground bunkers below Edwards Air Force Base.
Yep.
They can just phase through walls,
There you go.
just
Yep.
like a ghost, and just like Quasga.
Quasga.
Maybe ghosts, aliens, and Bigfoot are all just the same thing? After all, each of these phenomena seem to play by the same magic trick. Now you see me, now you don't. Now, whatever the nature of Bigfoot may be, it's clear that there is more to the phenomenon than the flesh and blood camp would be comfortable to admit. But I don't think we should rule out the possibility that both camps are right. Maybe there is a flesh and blood undiscovered North American wood ape, and maybe there are interdimensional ape men. And maybe there are forest poltergeists that like throwing stones and knocking on tree trunks. Maybe it's just my inner collector.
I thought we were going to get answers here tonight.
Well, Bryce, maybe it's just my inner collector speaking here, but why can't we have them all?
We can.
Collect them all.
Yeah.
And there you have Vanishing Bigfoot.
I love it. So great.
Have your squatch and haunt it too.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I
Yeah.
like
What do
it.
you think, Riley?
I mean, it's fun. I want there to be interdimensional space ape men
Yeah.
that are also somehow magical and know how to portal into Santa Fe or Taos, New Mexico
Yeah.
or whatever. I mean, yes, of course I want that to be true.
Yeah.
That's objectively incredible. I mean, but is this real?
Well, are ghosts real?
I mean, we
Are
proved
UFOs
it.
real?
We proved that on the show.
So?
Ghosts are real.
This is a bigger leap, but maybe but people see this shit.
This seems to be
yeah.
the technology that man is striving for. The ability to move untethered anywhere that he so chooses by just the thought of it. Whether it's entering a portal or dematerializing or phasing in and out, it's this ability to materialize and dematerialize, to move through the material world and the spirit world.
How many times are you going to say material or material?
Yeah.
He's gonna keep doing
I
it
was
until
just
he
gonna
does
keep
one or
doing
the
it.
other.
No, I get it. Yeah, this is why some people think that the government's hiding the truth about Sasquatch.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it like
they want
science
that
fiction
sweet,
or
sassy
paranormal.
tech.
It could very well be just a science that we don't understand, a manipulation over the environment that they reside in, and that we just don't have the belief system set up for it or the capability to do stuff like that yet. I think there's a few people out there that are getting close.
I mean, if you could like kill a Bigfoot, skin it, and wear its fur, you might be able to cloak yourself. You know what I mean?
Oh my god! You know what this does have me thinking about though is that where you mentioned you kind of ended on that "now you see me, now you don't" thing is like sort of the common trick for all of this stuff, and it's like so it's all playing on our sense of sort of object permanence,
Yes.
and like what forms a coherent reality that we are comfortable
Yes.
operating in. And so that to me leads back into this whole idea that I've been on lately that it's like this is maybe more rooted in consciousness and perception than
Yes.
physical reality. Mm-hmm. So that's my take.
I like
on
that.
It.
I
Crazy.
like where your head's at.
Wow.
It's a trick. It's a
What about
trickster.
you guys? What are you Club Scouts thinking about these disappearing, vanishing Bigfoots? Does it make sense to you? Let us know.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a good. What? Bigfoot? You all right? You all right, buddy?
Bryce, how were you not cast in Sasquatch Sunset? How sad are you? Okay, Club Scouts, before we head over to this week's edition of Collector's Corner, let's thank some Club Scouts like you who have recently joined us over on BCC The Other Side.
Thank you, Club Scouts.
Darren Rush, sorry we got your name wrong the first time, buddy.
Thank you.
Danielle Ramos Cloutier.
Thank you.
Sam Craig, Cosmeteer.
Thank you, Sam. Welcome.
Richard M.
Thanks, Richard.
Sam.
Thanks, Sam.
Sarah Crease.
Thank you, Sarah.
Brittany Denman.
Thanks, Brittany.
Gracie Sierra.
Thanks, Grayson.
Grayson. Meet AD. Cosmeteer.
Thank you, Meat. Welcome.
Grace Schoonmaker.
Thanks, Grace.
Same.
Thanks, Sam.
Jamie Page, Cosmeteer.
Thanks, Jamie.
Jeffrey
Welcome.
McLean, Cosmeteer.
Thanks, Jeffrey. Welcome.
Archie Cuba Rubia.
Thanks, Archie.
Christina Jane Rornacher.
Thank you, Christina.
And favorite name of the week, Luke-Stopher, Cosmeteer.
Cool name.
It's
Welcome.
when your wife says we're naming him Christopher, but you're a Star Wars fan and you compromise.
Luke-Stopher.
Thank you, everyone. If you want to be an official Club Scout or Cosmeteer, head over to patreon.com/BigfootCollectorsClub to unlock total access to 3 bonus episodes every month, the BCC Discord, and more. Upgrade to the Cosmeteer membership to unlock 3 music tracks from super producer Riley, like the one you heard today in this edition of High Strangeness, as well as ad-free episodes from the main feed. And I should say, and maybe this wasn't clear, nobody's asked, but I thought about it as I was trying to go to sleep last night. All of the episodes on BCC The Other Side are ad-free.
Right.
The bonus episodes are ad-free, but then you can listen to this episode ad-free over there if you want to.
Yes, correct.
So there you go. All right, it's time to swing by the Collector's Corner to find out what we're working on, what we're currently collecting, reading, watching, or simply into. Bryce, you were mentioning a movie or a show that you got into before.
Yeah.
What are you watching?
Well, so I watched that movie by Danny Boyle yesterday.
About the Beatles one.
Yeah,
Beatles
it's the storyline is great. What if we lived in a world where the Beatles didn't exist? So it's such a great script idea, but it's really a love story, and that's just sort of the vehicle that drives it. Anyway, I've been sort of collecting the Beatles. I've been just like
you're
listening.
back into Beatles.
I went from reggae.
You went from Bob Marley to Paul McCartney.
I did, and wow, I
Tracks.
have a whole new appreciation for just sort of their catalog of music, and I always appreciated the Beatles, but having seen that movie and made me want to like go back and actually read the lyrics as they're singing them, and
it's
it was
funny
great.
because Tarantino in the original Pulp Fiction draft, I don't think it ended up in was it the Stones versus Beatles or Elvis versus Beatles?
Probably
but basically
Elvis. He's an Elvis
there's
fan.
an argument that you're either an Elvis person or a Beatles person.
Right.
I'm a Beatles person.
Right.
I grew up Beatles. That was like when you were
I've
listening to
experienced
Elvis,
a lot of that,
I
yeah.
was a Beatles guy.
Right.
And also just very comforting music like reggae if you're partaking in festivities.
Yeah.
It's especially those later
keeps
albums
you
when
safe.
those boys got real psychedelic.
Well, and I also had the thought that like how many musicians, probably musicians that you know and love, like that came up in the 70s, 80s, and 90s, probably practiced with Beatles songs.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure, yeah.
Probably
And
like
it's part
every
of the
one of them.
songbook.
It's
Riley, you're the musician here. Did you come up playing Beatles songs?
Oh yeah, I learned all the Beatles stuff when I was like in college.
Yeah.
It was I
What was
had a
your-
very strong classic rock period, and then
What was your if you were gonna be a Ken and play a song for a lady, would you pick
something.
Would you pick Hey Jude or would you pick Blackbird?
Well, Hey Jude's a divorce song, so I,
I know,
wouldn't
but
do that one.
but sometimes just playing a piano and singing, going hey, 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 it's just enough for a lady to be like,
Run
"That's
away."
cute."
No, dude,
You know what I mean?
It's something. The George Harrison song.
Blackbird.
No, something.
Oh, something. Sorry,
The George
sorry,
Harrison
sorry.
song. That's
George Harrison is
Can't-
so cool.
That's one of the-
Something in way. Yeah.
She moves.
No,
Exactly.
This is gonna be
Oh, jeez.
flagged
for
Key,
copyright.
Our Kokomo, by the way, jet ski special, not unable to monetize on YouTube because we sang Kokomo, and what else did we sing?
Time of My Life.
Time of My Life.
No
yeah.
way.
Yeah, we
Really?
got,
Oh my god.
Yeah, we got
God, this-
flagged for copyright. I was like,
I
wow.
still wouldn't change
Honestly,
a thing.
flattered
never.
that our cover even.
Yeah.
What about you guys? What are you guys collecting?
I've been
Besides ghosts.
I've been collecting vet bills.
Oh no.
Yeah, poltergeist and vet bills. Since we last recorded, I've kind of been oddly in a static period, I have to say. I moved on to below deck sailing yacht, and it is so good.
I like the below
latest
deck update. Yeah.
I really, where you're kind of like, I don't know, like my dream lately has been, you've been off in Beatles land. I've been off in like, what if I became a sailor land? You know what I mean? What
I
if
could see it. Do you want to go sailing? I sail.
Really?
Yeah. I'll
I
take
would
you.
love to. I think I would
love sailing
fucking
so
love
much.
it, and I think I would take to it. I'm not kidding. Like the other Bravo shows that I've been watching have just been like distractible garbage, but like this one, I'm like, wait a minute.
I wanna
If I had
sail.
known about this shit when I was 20, I might have spent my summers going and being like trying to be a deckhand
Oh, man.
because
Have you guys ever sailed? Like,
never.
No. I mean,
Oh,
I've been
wow.
on a sailboat, but
Yeah.
I don't sail.
I have never even been on a sailboat. I'm from Kansas.
I think you ought to sail.
Oh my God, yes.
Yeah. I used to.
The
This will be,
BCC sailing special.
this will be my collector's corner. I used to crew on this boat called the Bloodhound that was built by a friend of mine, this older guy. He's actually since passed. That's why I don't crew on it anymore. But this boat was a replica of an 1890s racing ship.
No.
It had 3 masts, and it took like 16 people to even take it out.
Oh my God.
It was the coolest thing. And you get that thing going under wind, like at speed, this like giant wooden ship. And it's like, there's nothing like it in the world. It's so cool.
Dude, I would love it.
I don't have access to that anymore. Those days are over, but we could go sailing. We could
Cool.
definitely go
I would love to
sailing.
go sailing.
Yeah.
Let's do it, please.
Cool.
I love it.
Sailing
sail
takes this episode away from advertising dollars.
I think that was out of key enough.
Sailing away. All right, everyone. We're going to cross over to BCC, the other side, to discuss a tiny little Bigfoot entity known as the Albatwitch. If we don't see you there, we'll see you back here next week for an all-new episode of Bigfoot Collectors Club. Until then, good night.
And go get regressed. Bigfoot Collectors Club is executive produced by Michael McMillan, Riley Bray, and Bryce Johnson. Our show is engineered, produced, and scored by Riley Bray. Our theme song, Come Alone, is by Suneaters. Follow them on Spotify. Want more BCC? For exclusive full-length episodes every month and total access to the other side, check out patreon.com/Bigfoot Collectors Club.